Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher of Realms. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the reset book. I'm also going to be using mine and doing something completely crazy that I didn't even know was going to be an option. Anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Okay, so the reset book, it's something you get from the event here. If you haven't seen it, it just comes from the Frostfall sign in. It's completely free. You don't have to do anything besides sign in for 4 days during the event, and you can beat yourself your hero reset book, which can be used to reset a hero to level 1, returning all items consumed for their development. And in order to use it, I'll show you how to do that as well. Now, what heroes should we reset? So the thing is, there's not going to be a lot of great options to tell you. The only thing I could tell you is maybe if you had something like along the lines of like a Zealous at A5 and you regret that for some reason, or you really don't need him. He's okay at full max awakenings and having an exclusive artifact and everything fully maxed out. He does do some pretty cool things if you've been that unlucky. Maybe you want to get yourself some hero tokens for the shop. If that's all you're after, that's pretty straightforward. If there's a hero that you're not really that crazy about. And these hero tokens that you get from the shop can get you things like the Ancient Summoning Crystals, Legendary Skill Crystals, Hero Soulstones. Speaking of Zealous, there he is right there. But sometimes Alwyn pops up in here, sometimes Arrogance pops up in here. Maybe you have a maxed out Aurum where you just want to take those heroes out and just build up your Hero Awakening tokens, which is kind of odd. I would not suggest doing it personally. But it's up to you. It is completely up to you. You can pick up a lot of really cool things in there. You can also pick up these mythic artifact essences here, which I do occasionally grab. Sometimes I'll sell some heroes and pick this up because I'm at a point where maxing out certain heroes' artifacts is the only thing I can do to really bring them to more damage. And heroes like Kagiri, Hex, Ajax, those kind of artifacts are what we're looking at here. Maybe even Silas's artifact. But if you want to be picking these up like weekly, they do pop up in there, and they do cost you the legendary awakening tokens to get them. I think it is 200 at a cost, if I remember correctly. So it's a little expensive. I'm not sure on the price. I can't remember what it was, but you can definitely pick those up. That's a really good option to be using that on, and that's kind of like what you should be grabbing is mythic artifact essences and one of the hero Soulstones that you can pick up here from time to time. Really the only ones that pop up here sometimes that are worth it are going to be Arrogance, Comet, and Elowin that I've seen so far, or I've seen in the leaks for the future, thanks to Destin and the leaker boys there, Mercanchi and Panther and all them guys. Now, the other option, which I think is much more of a good one, is to be looking at some of your old heroes, maybe your Lust even. Maybe you don't really need Lust that much anymore. Maybe you put yourself a legendary Soulstone polished into a Lust and you want to pull that back out and put it into a hero like Kratos. Maybe you did it with Arrogance, maybe Hex, maybe Silas, and you don't really need that at Awakening and you'd rather have it on one of your really good lords. The only reason I would suggest doing this is if you had Kratos, Ingrid, or Valderon in that order, and you wanted to bring them to another awakening. Otherwise, I'm thinking that you should hold on to your hero reset book. It's a really cool tool to have. You could always use it in another way. Actually, one of the guys in the guild, Azams, he's actually our mod, he's talking about awakening his Valderon to awaken level 2. He has 2 legendary polished Soulstones on his account, and he was asking if it would make sense to awaken Valderon to level 2. And if you look at Valderon, it increases factions team damage and it helps get him an extra stack. So yes, awakening level 2 would be a good idea, but then he can hold on to that hero reset book. And later on, if he pulls it Praetus or Ingrid, he can pull those 2 polished Soulstones out of his Valderon and then pop them on his Praetus. So that's a really good option. And that leads me to my next point, is if you are using polished legendary Soulstones, you should only use them on Praetus, Ingrid, or Valderon. There's the option of using it on Twin Fiend, and that's the only other option I would ever suggest using it on. Now, it may help you cross some kind of threshold temporarily, but I promise you, you're going to regret it in the future. For me, it did with my Yovar. I had used a legendary Soulstone on him, got him to A3 actually, and he helped me cross some barriers in Guild Boss because I did pull him somewhat early, pretty much on his banner when he first released into the game, and it helped me cross some thresholds that I was struggling with, including Epilogue and stuff like that. But now, I just pulled Praetus, and I'm sitting here thinking like, man, if I want to awaken this guy, it's going to take me forever. We got this hero reset book here, and I'm like thinking, well, I know there is a legendary Soulstone sitting on my Lust. I used one to get her A1. I pulled another one from the exclusive event, and I think I have a unpolished Soulstone in her as well. There might be one somewhere else as well. I think I've gotten like 4 or 5. I'm not really sure where they're all at. But then I'm sitting here looking, and I'm like, well, I have Yovar Awakened level 3, and I'm curious how I got him to that point. And for me, if you look at Praetus's A3, well, A1 to A3 is A1 is when basic attack deals damage to the target, restores 3% rage. A2 increases faction team members' attack by 5%. For him, increases his attack by 5%, which is massive because his attack is huge, and this is all what his kit is all built around, is true damage. High attack is super important. Then Awakened level 3 is when the number of Light of Judgment reaches 5, it increases attack by another 15%. So he's just going to be getting, from his awakenings, he's going to be getting an extra 20% attack. It's going to give his faction an extra 5%. It's crazy what his awakenings are, and they're very important. Awakened level 5 is pretty decent as well, but I don't know, that's going to be a long time before that happens for me. Now, when I was looking at my Yovar, I'm like, well, I don't remember how many I pulled. I don't remember what the situation was with Yovar. I could probably go back and look at the summonings, but apparently I only pulled 1 Yovar. So if I reset him now, I'm gonna get all my stuff back. I can just re-level him really quickly. It's not gonna take that long or be that big of a deal. Everything is there for me. But look, I have 3 legendary hero Soulstones, and these are polished into my Yovar. I can pull them out, put them on my Praetus. So for me, this is huge, a huge finding, and this is my decision. I'm going to pull it out of Yovar, even though I use him on Guild Boss 1, and I like to have him in play because his damage is really good, and it helps me push those scores for the leaderboards, and that's fun and everything. But I could try to figure out something else. I do have an Awakened 3 Araka, just from pulling her so many times. Maybe I can sort of switch her in there instead, and she can increase Hex's damage and, you know, work something out. But I'm not going to lose, I don't think, that much damage from taking these awakenings off of him. But it is a good amount of damage. Probably like 20 million off of him. He hits like 130. He'll probably come down to 100, I'm assuming. Anyways, but I am going to pull this out, and I'm going to go ahead and awaken my Praetus and be a very happy person. So there it is. Here comes my legendary hero Soulstones. We have 3. This is, for me, this is super exciting. I'm super excited about doing this. I don't think it's a wrong decision by any means. The only issue is that his BP was really high, but now Praetus's BP can be really high instead. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm not scared. 3 legendary Soulstones, taking my Praetus to Awakened level 3. He's going to be a monster. And with that being said, he's going to be on my spare parts team. So that's my Guild Boss 2 APOC 1. That's my second team. And I want to try him out and see if he helps me out a ton. I'm pretty sure he's going to make a big difference as far as my score goes. Anyways, there you go. Awakened level 3 Praetus. How is his BP now? 98k. He's not fully scaled out, so that's going to have a little bit of effect on that. We do have the maxed out tier. I have pretty decent gear on him, but I'm definitely not trying to really push his BP at this point. If I really wanted to, I'd just rip everything off and just auto-equip, and that's how you get the highest BP. I know he's very capable of going between 110 and 115, but having these extra 3 skill crystals is going to make a huge difference. Every skill up you do is going to be important. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't be afraid to use your hero reset, and don't be afraid to hold on to it. You don't need to use it right now. There might be an idea in the future that you might want to use it for. But this is mine, and I think it was the best decision for my account, even though I'm going to have to use Yovar at a 0 from now on. But that's okay. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep digging.